On April 29th, I covered the climate march in Washington, D.C. I'm a freelance photojournalist, and even though I hadn't been assigned by any D.C. news agency, I felt it was my job to attend the event and report on what I saw. Now, earlier this year, I covered the Women's March on Washington, much the same way, as an independent observer of an event the scope and attendance of which would probably be making history. After all, I am a dedicated professional, a newsman, a member of the Fifth Estate. Or, as some see it, a busybody cameraman that gets in the way more often than not. Oops. Case in point. Anyhow, the march took place on a record-breaking hot spring day that was more like mid-August in the swamp. What I saw was over 200,000 concerned citizens imploring the government to accept science and continue to support actions that at least will not make the climate change worse. Some people are still angry about the 2016 election results. They consider it a blow to the success the country has had as a world leader on environmental awareness.
Mr. Trump, you're an asshole. Mr. Trump, you need to go back to your casinos and all the wives that you've got. Mr. Trump, you go straight to hell.
Some still have an axe to grind with law enforcement. And many have issues that affect the parts of the world most important to them.
My county in Martin County has 30% of the land area has been destroyed by either strip mining or mountaintop removal. It's just like Wise County, Virginia, who has suffered tremendously also. I'm here to say that we need new energy on these abandoned strip jobs that are never going to be reclaimed. That could be places for wind farms and solar power. That's the wave of the future. That's for my grandchildren that I don't even have yet.
My son was in Antarctica on the icebreaker, and the polar bears and the penguins, they have no place. The ice is going away. This is real. This is real.
Climate change is an issue that impacts our daily lives. There are rising temperatures across the country. Some states are experiencing floods, others are experiencing droughts. We have pollution in the air, which contributes to health ailments like asthma, for example. Latino children are 40% more likely to die of asthma than their non-Latino counterparts. So for us, it's a very personal issue, and it's something that we demand to be taken seriously.
There are grand global messages as varied as the people that deliver them.
What I'd like people to do is at least to stop and think before they buy something. Do they really need it? And how is it made? Where is it made? Who suffered to have this thing made? How did it impact the environment? We have to start living more consciously on the planet if we're going to make it as a species.
It's perfect how hot it is. It should show that the climate is changing. It's 90 degrees and it's April. Things are now just beginning to bloom. We all need to get together and speak up and help for the next generation.
We're all in this together, and we all have to do our part. It's not just pointing fingers, it's how we live our lives. The fact that the Trump administration has decimated the EPA says he doesn't give a shit about you or me or this planet or anybody that lives on it. It's all about money and greed, corporate wealth, and the hell with the people.
We participated, we made the posters. People know in our community that we're here, so there's like a ripple effect. So that's why I think it's important.
We have to protect our planet. I have an electric factory on my roof. Everyone in America, why are we doing coal and no solar? We need more alternatives. If you believe in America and believe in jobs, solar is the solution. It's free. God's bounty on us. We should use it.
I played devil's advocate and asked questions in as many ways as I could to get people to open up and sound like the crazy tree huggers they're accused of being, but no takers. Everyone I spoke with was informed, articulate, loves this country, and cherishes their children. Still, some surprising things did come from very unlikely sources.
If you were walking into the White House, the residence right now, and you were standing in the doorway, just as they slammed the door in your face, what would you yell to President Trump?
Loser!
So for the thousands of people who marched, it would make sense that there would be just as many messages. It would also make sense that others would voice support for ending funding for research, ignoring what science and the changing environment are indicating.
Climate change is real, and when you have climate change and the polar ice caps are melting, you're facing extinction, you're threatening different ecosystems, and that's something that we need to take seriously and we need to have on our minds and tell our representatives and our congressmen that it's something we care about.
But what I found was one basic wish for the planet and the people that live on it.
We all belong to one Earth, so we all need to protect it.
And the message to the Trump administration over this complicated and divisive issue from the generation whose future stands to be the most affected:
Grow up. Stop using Twitter and listen to what the people have to say, listen to the experts, and start listening to people across party lines, because that's the only way you're going to get anything done.
In Washington for Calvert Live, I'm David Silberti.